Hey guys!
Hey guys! Hey guys! Hey guys!
In this video we are going to share with you our vegan story.
So this is the story of why I turned vegan.
I'm filming my veganism story.
Vegan journey.
So about a year ago I made this decision in my life and I went vegan.
When I found veganism, I felt like I just found the answer to life and to everything. And I was like, why don't more people know about this?
What? I'm like, hi, my name's Harvey, you know, like, oh right, like unintentionally. So my name's Harvey, I'm from Oxfordshire and I am a vegan. I think initially I just began to think about animals more and their position in society, and I was like, it's not that nice. Yeah, so like in reflection of that I decided to go vegan just in terms of like personal morals. I've only actually been vegan for 4 months, but I have been vegetarian for 3 years, like almost 3 years. I have a friend called Molly who moved to our school in year 8 I think, and she was vegetarian at the time. I wasn't vegetarian at this point, and that was probably like my first introduction to a vegetarian, like on a close basis. So I was like, I would obviously ask questions out of intrigue as to like why she chose to, you know, live her lifestyle in that way. And that was like one reason why I began to think about it. And then also for my RE GCSE, like a big topic was the animal rights in like modern society. So we were shown a lot of hypocrisy in like society towards animals and things like that, which was another like point where I was like, began to think about my meat consumption and things like that. Like they know my opinion because I like have probably said it enough and explained it enough. And I think sometimes they probably like, I do often like they joke about it with me, like with what I'm eating, like, oh that looks gross and things like that. And but I wouldn't say it irritates them. I think sometimes they're like, oh this is annoying having to like cook separate meals, which I do understand, but then they kind of understand where I'm coming from as well, and like I'm quite passionate about the whole animal rights thing, so they're okay. I don't think they live veggie. They wouldn't do it if it was without me. Like my mum will say make like a base of like the food, so like she'll make the curry with the veg in, and then she'll be like there's yours, and then she'll add like some chicken in for them. So I don't think that's too bad, but then some things that you can't just add an extra bit of meat in, yeah, like my mum does make it vegan and feeds it to everyone because it's like, oh, sorry. Again, probably like the temptation and things like that. Personally, like I've never buckled, like I've never been tempted, and like I know that I wouldn't be tempted, like I definitely wouldn't. You know, we live in a world where animal products are everywhere, and having to like, you see something nice in a shop and you always are checking the labels to see if they've got like egg, milk, dairy, etc. and meat. Sometimes it's like on ingredients you'll have the allergy advice in bold, so it's easy to just look, see what's in bold and then just take it, but then sometimes you don't actually check the meat in it and you'll find that there's like pork in it and it's like, ugh. But yeah, that's probably the only problem.
It's fine. It's because I'm tired. My name is Lizzie and I'm from Oxfordshire, and I'm not a vegetarian. I would want to be a vegetarian in the future, I think, once I've, as I've already said, like once I leave home, I think I could do that because I'm self-sufficient. I think it's because probably my parents like wouldn't want to cook an extra meal for me in the evening, so whilst I'm at home with them.
Okay, so what's the difference between being vegetarian and being vegan? I think being vegetarian is probably much more of a dietary thing. I'd say it's obviously a lot easier. All you like really need to do is just cut out like the meat, and then that's kind of it. And especially when there's a lot of substitutes now, like corn, it's not that difficult, whereas like being vegan, I feel like it's less of a dietary change and more of like a lifestyle change, because not only are you changing what you're eating, you're also like changing your lifestyle in terms of you're not buying products that have beeswax in, you're not wearing leather, you're not wearing wool.
So being a vegetarian, you don't eat meat or fish. And then being a vegan, you don't use any animal products. So that's like leather or suede or your makeup products that you wear on your face, you wouldn't have them tested by animals.
I feel like when you go vegan, you kind of like pick up where you're gonna expect to find your vegan things. Like sometimes in like big supermarkets like Sainsbury's, they've got like a whole free from section where they'll have like all their gluten-free, their vegan, etc., all their lactose stuff, and you just kind of have to look through that. I kind of just look everywhere and think, oh, that's nice, let me just check it, and just kind of get an idea. Like you look at one thing and you're like, okay, I'm probably not going to find a vegan option for that, and then you just avoid that area, if that makes sense. Sometimes you do get things that you would expect not to be veggie or not to be vegan, and they are. Like I said, just some random, like you can get meat flavoured crisps that are just casually vegan. I think like Twiglets are vegan, most dark chocolates are vegan, things like that. I know that I'm going to walk into a shop there, there's always going to be something that I could eat. I'm never going to like go hungry. I could buy fruit if not. There's activists that I see that I like follow and I'm interested in their life like through social media because they like advocate veganism well. There's someone called Earthling Ed, he's like quite a big person who does lots of videos.
Right behind us now is where the gas chambers are, and you can hear the pigs screaming through the walls. When they are lowered into the gas chamber, CO2 is pumped into their bodies and it burns them from the inside out. It can take up to a minute for some of them to die, which means they're in terrible pain that whole time as their body burns literally from the inside out. If this was a dog, or thousands of dogs, would all be so angry. We say we're all against animal cruelty, and yet most of us pay for this sort of thing to happen.
Don't stop before you flow, okay? Let it move.
Piggies. Okay.
I've never been able to understand what right we think we have to decide what purpose another animal's life has. After all of these animals are individuals with their own wants, their own desires, their own needs, their own thoughts. These animals want to live a life for themselves, and what purpose we give to them is irrelevant to what they want to do with their life. All they want to do is live their life and do the things that come natural to them.
I think with like veganism, probably more than vegetarianism, there's like a lot of stigma of like vegans being like quite bashing and like quite aggressive with their views, and I think that kind of creates a situation where people are more like almost offended by veganism than embracing it and understanding like the reasons behind it. I've had a lot of like debates with friends, and like yeah, I used to be a lot more preachy than I am now. I think I've calmed down. But yeah, no, there are people that disagree because I think, again, they kind of, like they see a vegan or they hear a comment made and they get very defensive. because obviously they're funding an industry that I'm criticising if I'm talking about it. So it's like, that's probably the only situation that I've had. I think, especially like with vegans, like there is either, some people do it for diet and that's it, and some people do it for ethics. In terms of celebrities, I would probably say like the majority of celebrities probably do it for like genuine reasons or even dietary reasons. Either way, I don't really mind because they are influencing their followers or their fans to live a lifestyle which I personally would say is more moral. So I would say that that would make the world a better place if more people were vegan. So the fact that they're influencing people, like more young people want to be vegan because of them, I would say that's a good thing. Even though people who just do it for the diet, like I'm like, lol, why not the ethics behind it? But then at the same time, I do still think that, like, you know, you're like not funding the industry, you're making a difference as well. So I'm not going to criticise you, because whether you care about animals or not, you're still helping like veganism grow.
I also think that veganism has kind of become a trend quite recently. It's kind of cool to be vegan. I think that's kind of missing the point. It kind of fits in with the whole New Year thing. The New Year, new me, or look at me, I'm so fit and healthy because I'm a vegan. I think there's definitely a trend. There's an Instagram person called Ella Grace Denton, and she is a vegan, so not just a vegetarian, which is very cool. But then that kind of ties in with the whole trend thing. Like maybe I just like her because she is cool, rather than because she's vegan.